When I was just getting started in Protestant ministry and church planting, I often heard this popular Protestant myth.
Every church Paul planted in the New Testament is dead and gone.
I think we made this Protestant myth up so that we could justify making new churches, which is exactly what Protestantism does, right? Here is one of the biggest Protestant church planters in the country.
I've stood personally in the remains of the church at Ephesus and the church at Corinth. They are both piles of rocks. Once the epicenter of gospel activity in the first century, now churches that are dead and gone.
I love this little clip by Father Josiah Trenham where he talks about actually visiting the church of Thessaloniki.
St. Paul, who was the spiritual father of the church in the city of Thessaloniki, is a very vibrant church. When I was a new Orthodox priest, I was in Greece and I was celebrating the liturgy with a very esteemed older priest. We were at one of the ancient churches in Thessaloniki, and I noticed that the bishop's throne behind the altar, it was roped off, and it had an icon of St. Paul sitting on the seat of the throne. And I asked him, I said, why is your throne, your bishop's throne, roped off, and why is St. Paul there? He said, oh, our bishop would never sit on that. I said, it's his throne. I mean, what are you talking about? He goes, no, that's the rostrum from which Paul preached in downtown Thessaloniki in the first century. Wow. 2,000 years later, right? It's roped off with his icon on it because, and now I understood why no bishop wanted to stand on it. Right? I got it.
There's also this Protestant pastor who makes the same mistake. Now, somebody thought it was funny to take his mistake online and post it next to all the current Orthodox bishops of current cities where Paul started churches and wrote his letters, in the New Testament. I just had to kind of chuckle there for a minute because there is this kind of moment where you realize, oh my goodness, these churches, many of them did not die. Now, I'm not saying that churches in areas of the world haven't died. I mean, all you have to do is read this book by Philip Jenkins, The Lost History of Christianity, and realize, oh my goodness, there have been places that were just filled with monasteries and filled with churches, and many of them went extinct either due to the sword or to forced conversion. And so it is a reality, but it's a false idea to say, oh my goodness, the epicenter of Christianity, these churches that Paul started just all died. No, many of them are just continuing what was handed on to them, that is the Orthodox Christian faith. I'm always reminded by a line by songwriter Rich Mullins, who grew up in my area actually. And he wrote the song Awesome God, but he also wrote the song called Creed. And he said, the creed isn't something that we've invented, but it is making me. I always think about this in terms of apostolic Christianity, what I call the barrel-aged faith, that which has been aged in the cellars over time, but that which can be tasted at any point, and it's still refreshing. It's not expired, it's not outdated, it's not stale, but it's full-bodied, robust, just like it was when the apostles put it there. That doesn't mean there hasn't been a beautiful aging process, but it only makes the barrels all that the richer. More saints, more victories of orthodoxy throughout history. And so it's important for us as we look at the faith that we don't come to it as inventors or innovators like I once did, throwing in, coffee shops and bands, putting up TV screens and tearing out altars to put in drum sets. Yeah, all things that I did in my Protestant days. We got to walk away from that, from our innovative ways, and go back to the ancient Christian faith, which, by the way, is still around. You can go to visit any Orthodox church and discover this. I would encourage you, if you want to explore more of Orthodoxy, contact your local Orthodox priest. Get a hold of somebody. Guys, thanks for tuning into this video. God bless. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.